Okay, so let's dive in. We're looking at a whole stack of sources covering the PlayStation Store's Black Friday 2025 sales. But we're not really here just to list discounts. We're going to use the sales data as a sort of lens, right? To see what the industry really values at the moment.
Exactly. It's fascinating because the discounts themselves, they paint a picture. You can see industry trends. You can see these evolving design philosophies. Our mission here is to really pull out the creme de la creme of insights that are just embedded in these deals.
And right off the bat, something interesting. You have a huge recent hit, Battlefield 6, already getting a snug 15% discount.
Hmm.
But then you look at a modern classic, Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's just $15.
Right. And that's not just a deal. That's a statement, really. It's about maximizing that long-term value, setting a new normal for low-cost legacy AAA games.
Okay, so let's talk about design outliers, games that demand a really unique skill set.
Well, you have to start with Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. It's just a total standout. It's an outlier, even in the From Software catalog. I mean, unlike Dark Souls or Elden Ring, you can't just overlevel or, strategize your way out of a tough fight.
No, not at all.
It demands pure, unadulterated technical mastery. It might be the hardest game they've ever made.
And here's where it gets really interesting in terms of sheer originality. The sources are all over Claire Obscure Expedition 33. The reports are claiming this game reshaped the conversation around game production this year.
Oh, wow.
Not just because it's an emotionally powerful game, but the way it mixed its combat and soundtrack, it apparently challenged all the existing production norms for RPGs.
And that idea of mastery connects perfectly to a game like Stellar Blade. The skill ceiling is so high, the combat literally requires you to master the art of counting frames.
Which means, for anyone unfamiliar, timing your moves down to fractions of a second.
Exactly. It's a game that asks for serious commitment, but that commitment pays off in huge ways.
So let's shift to IP revivals. We're seeing two wildly different approaches here.
We really are.
You've got Konami's return with Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater. It's focused completely on fidelity.
Total devotion.
The source material notes it's just devoted to the original's design, so it feels familiar, not fresh. Which, I mean, when you're remaking one of the best games of all time.
That's a valid choice. But you contrast that devotion with what's happening in the Silent Hill franchise, which is just embracing upheaval.
Right.
Silent Hill F, the first truly original work in years, shifts everything. We're talking 1960s Japanese culture.
Yeah.
And yet somehow it still has that classic psychological ick factor.
And then there's the Silent Hill 2 remake, which kind of sits in the middle, doesn't it?
It does. The developer Bloober Team, they made some intentional tweaks. The sources say they actually encourage more fighting than the survival horror original.
But those tweaks don't break it. It can still stand proudly right next to that PS2 classic.
And if we look at the RPG landscape, it's just full of contradictions.
Everywhere.
On one hand, you have the immense scale of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a multi-part AAA saga that asks for hundreds of hours of your time. Very traditional.
But then immediately balancing that, you have Final Fantasy 16.
A total pivot.
It deliberately breaks franchise tropes. It sacrifices some of that traditional RPG structure to reward snappy reflexes, memorize combos. It's a huge mechanical risk.
It paid off. And then we see this sketchbook concept with Metaphor ReFantazio from the Persona 5 team.
Ah, I love this idea.
It basically allows the developers to get messy, to use weird mechanics without that fear of disappointing longtime fans who are expecting a very specific Persona formula. It's creative freedom.
And to round out the RPGs, speaking of access, there's like a Dragon Infinite Wealth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this game is practically designed for people who have no idea what a JRPG is.
It's so approachable. It's packed with these hilarious mini-games and side missions. It feels less like an epic quest and more like a vacation, a perfect gateway to the genre.
So we've covered a ton here. Everything from tactical realism, like the police breaches in Ready or Not, to these hyper-specific fighters like Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
With its 180-plus character variants, which is just wild.
It's nuts.
So what does all this mean for you, the player? We've seen total devotion to classic design, like in MGS Snake Eater, and we've also seen intentional trope-breaking innovation with games like FF16.
So this all raises a really important question for you to mull over. Which of these two philosophies, classic, pure authenticity, or creative, risky upheaval, is ultimately providing the most fertile ground for long-term gaming value, something for you to chew on?